Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss Stranger Things Science Camp. This takes place in Camp Nowhere, where Dustin and Susie meet this summer in between season 2 and 3. And so this is from May 2021. This came out. Dark Horse Books, also Dark Horse Comics, created this graphic novel. So first, I'm going to say 7/8 of this book is the science camp story. And then the last eighth is just a little random side story of Erica after the events of season 3 and the mall burning down. So, how does Dustin meet Susie, right? Susie, who saved the world. Our beloved Susie from Salt Lake City, Utah, who knows Planck's constant, the number that I can't remember. So, Camp Nowhere, right? Dustin goes to Camp Nowhere, and he is immediately taken aback by these two bullies beating this, not beating, but like interrogating this public school kid, but Dustin goes to public school. So Dustin is standing up for himself because he's very brave now. He, defeated monsters twice and he saved the world. He helped save the world. And so he's standing up for this kid whose name is Steven. And he's like, oh, one of my best friends' name is Steve. And this kid, Steven's like, you have more than one best friend? So Dustin's standing up for himself and, for this other kid. The surrounding nerds applaud him very graciously. While the kids are figuring out their place in the food chain, the counselors are trying to figure out their place amongst themselves. Who's going to hook up with whom and who's going to sneak beer in and what events are going to happen and etc. Right? So as the story progresses, certain counselors are disappearing. And we find out that there's this killer on the loose dressed in an Einstein mask and has a screwdriver. Very interesting. So Dustin is now trying to put together a Dungeons and Dragons game. He's going to be a dungeon master for the particular campaign that they're going to do at the camp. But as the story progresses and the counselors are now disappearing, Dustin and Susie band together and after a nice little meet cute and convince all their other nerd friends, I don't know what you got, campers, there you go, to defeat this murderer so that way they don't have to leave the camp, because the camp's only a few weeks, and if they leave the camp then they have to go back to the real world, and that's not fun. They want to stay in the science camp with math and science and learning and fun, right? So that's the mindset, and that's great. As long as they're safe, happy, and healthy, that's all that matters. So to be safe, happy, and healthy, they have to defeat a murderer. So they go on a quest to find this murderer. They find the murderer. They literally, 6 of them literally jump this person, take off the mask. It's one of the counselors the entire time who fake stabbed one of her, fellow counselors' boyfriend because the two of them don't want to be there. So they'd rather just have the camp shut down than admit to their parents that they quit because the one guy's father is too steadfast and will not accept quitting things, right? So then Dustin goes on a whole speech of how you can't take this away from us. You're being selfish. This is the one place that we can actually be ourselves. We're picked on at regular school, and this we can actually be ourselves, participate in science, participate in math. So the counselors go off. One of them is going to report the two fake murders. So it's not an actual murder, it's just a fake murder. And so then Dustin and Susie have a nice little heart-to-heart, and she admits that she likes him, and Dustin's like, you're very brave, and she's like, do you want to do something together for the talent show? I was thinking of singing Never-Ending Story, and Dustin's like, that's not a duet, but okay. And then we know and love the duet of Never-Ending Story that the two of them share at the end of season 3 of Stranger Things. So it's a nice little how the two of them met and why Never-Ending Story is a big part of their togetherness, why the song is iconic within the 3rd season, and then leading into the short Erica story at the very end. Erica wants to buy some D&D books, to buy some Dungeons and Dragons books. Her mother took the books away because she's been talking back, but she stole one of the Russian canisters, secret green ooze from one of the Russian canisters in the Russian base under the Starcourt Mall, prior to it being burnt down because of the, mind flayer taking all the human and rat parts and becoming one monstrous being in the 3rd dimension. Very interesting. I love season 3. Battle at Starcourt is a very tough finale to watch, especially with Billy, but bro, season 4 has just been on point so far. Episode 4, Dear Billy, is just iconic. Episode 7, the murder at Hawkins' lab, the massacre at Hawkins' lab, incredible reveals. Cannot wait for episode 8 and 9. But I'm getting sidetracked. Nah, not really, because I'm still talking about Stranger Things. There we go. I'm a big fan. I've had Steve's where is it? What arm is it? This arm. I've had Steve's hair tattooed on my body for I don't know 3, 4 years, long time. Love Stranger Things, and I love the books, so it makes sense. Anyway, Erica is talking to Dustin via walkie, figuring out where to sell the canister to get money. So she winds up going to Indianapolis. She's en route to Indianapolis. Dustin takes his bike to the family video store, tells Robin and Steve what's going on. The three of them drive and then cut Erica off. There's a battle between the backpack to get the canister. The canister breaks, destroys a sidewalk. Hysterical. But then Erica explains, none of my friends want to play. I want to learn. I want to play. And then Dustin's like, yeah, but you have friends who are nerds. So then Erica, Dustin, Steve, and Robin all wind up playing Dungeons and Dragons at the end. I thought it was very cute. I'm curious if that short is going to be a part of the Erica the Great comic, which I do not own. I have not read that yet, but I know that's also been released. There's also a Bob comic, which I have to get that as well. I think those are the only two comics of Stranger Things, graphic novels, that I haven't read yet. I haven't read the 4 novels that have been released. There's a Lucas novel coming out. There's also a horror story short that came out as well. So 5 I still have to read. Lucas is coming out. 2 comics of Erica and Bob. And I think we're caught up. So, Stranger Things Science Camp, May 2021. Is that what I said? I feel like that's what I said. I just want to double check what I said. May 2021. Awesome meet cute of our dear Dustin and Susie. Can't wait to see when the two of them actually get back together again, because they've never actually had screen time together. That's going to be interesting. I hope they actually get a nice welcome back kind of a thing, a nice hug and embrace in season 5. We'll see. We'll see what happens next. On to the next review. Mucho mahalo.